Very truly I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God without being born again. Now you ask yourself, how is that in any sense a response to what Nicodemus said? Nicodemus says, we know you are a teacher sent from God because no one could do these miraculous signs unless God were with him. I tell you the truth. Unless you're born again, you can't see the kingdom of God. What's the connection? So people have suggested sort of a presupposed ellipsis, as if Nicodemus is really saying something like this. We know that you are a teacher sent from God because nobody could do what you're doing unless God were with him. So tell us, are you the one who is going to bring in the coming kingdom? Are you the one who is going to make David's kingdom finally dawn? In which case Jesus says, the crucial question is not whether I'm going to make the kingdom dawn, but whether you're qualified to get in it. But that's an awful lot of stuff to leave out, isn't it? Between verses 2 and verse 3 to make sense of the flow of the passage. It's an awful lot of stuff to leave out. Now, I think the connection is far simpler. You may recall that in one of the earlier sessions, I mentioned that the notion of kingdom can be quite varied. It has to do with God's dynamic reign, with his power. And sometimes it's his sweeping sovereignty. And sometimes it's the exercise of his reign over the Israelites of the Old Covenant, and so forth. And there was an anticipation that eventually great David's greater son would come and introduce the kingdom, all right? And now, what does Nicodemus see? He sees Jesus doing miraculous signs. Signs that cannot be explained as the tricks of some quack. He sees this as God's reign, God's power in some sense. And we have come to the conclusion, he says, that God is with you. In that sense, this is God's reign operating in some sense. He's claiming something. And Jesus says, my dear Nicodemus, let me tell you the truth. You don't see a blessed thing. You can't see the kingdom unless you're born again. You might see the miraculous signs, but you really don't discern. You don't see the kingdom at all. In other words, what Jesus is doing is actually gently but firmly knocking down Nicodemus's pretensions. To see this kingdom, the kingdom that Jesus is introducing, you have to be born again.